Great to have you on news today. We are coming to you live from digital address GA0992539. We are live on DSTV channel 421 and Gold TV channel 144. The details now. The National Petroleum Authority is assuring consumers of liquefied petroleum gas that the government will prioritize their health, safety and security over any and all consideration. It's thus accordingly urging gas consumers to look out for gas filling stations that are still in operation across the country in accessing the commodity. This comes on the back of the nationwide strike declared by the Association of Ghana Liquefied Gas Station Operators to protest the cylinder recirculation model policy by government. Director of Communications at the NPA, Anio Sabute, has been speaking with Joy News.
Well, first and foremost, there has never been a final report because, the engagement with the stakeholders involved in the process are still ongoing. So I find it a bit strange that they would say, for example, that how they arrive at the cost that will be passed on to consumers that they've not been able to state. And also the point that the negotiations are done and therefore a final document, has been prepared and forwarded to government. None of that of the allegations is true, Menace. But I can tell you, for example, that Glibgoa has been part as an association, has been part of the process from day one. They've made their contributions, and along the line, they had a disagreement. One of the major issues that they raised had to do with the fact that the entire policy itself should not even happen, and we feel that is extremely untenable, because in the heart of this particular policy is public safety. And people may have issues. There may be a new model that is being pushed. And rightly so, during the committee process or during the process of the committee and engagement, a lot of divergent views did come up. And we sit down when we agree to disagree, to pick points where it will be workable for everybody, and we reach a compromise. Not even a single member did raise the issues that should be thrown out. However, Glibgoa believes that to be thrown out because first and foremost, it's going to throw them out of job. We addressed that particular concern and we told them that it is never true. We gave them even the model and how it's going to even increase the jobs for their own members. So for now, for them to even come out and say that a document has been prepared and the document has been sent to government, unfortunately, is not true. Well, we have also done our checks, and I can speak to you that even within Glibgoa setup itself, it's not every member who has adhered to the call for them to down their tools. There are a lot of the outlets who are still working. In terms of the strike, it does not mean also that we are sitting down aloof and watching for it to happen, because like we have said, our concern has to do with the consumer, and everything is being done to ensure that people get the product they need for either their business or their personal issues. But we'll continue to engage Glibgoa. Like we said, that the MPA as an authority runs an open door policy, and as every grain of concern that is put on the table at the committee level is captured in a statement, is debated, and is spoken to by those tasked with the responsibility. We have subcommittees where even after the general committee meets, the subcommittees meet to be able to flesh out all the fine details before a workable proposal that is agreeable or acceptable to all is forwarded to government. But as we speak, no document has gone to government to say this is the final chapter of the process.
Meanwhile, checks in parts of the Ashanti regional town of Kumasi show that some gas filling stations have already shut down outfits in solidarity to the protest.
The government has a good policy, but proper measures have to be put in place for a better understanding. Some people like what we do and others dislike it, so we need to strategize well. Prices will go up for a purchase of a new cylinder. They say the minimum price will be 50 cedis and 80 cedis. So what happens to those who can't afford the 50 cedis? The government should exercise patience rather than forcing us to accept the policy.
So, and you can't be a form, yes, because of form. Into yes, we have a boy near you for your back connecting create man, abandoning your butre. So, if we said the account, Yasia, or Mononyancha or Munumoduma, yes, we are near dear, will be insist and so much.
Well, the Ghana Liquefied Petroleum Gas Operators Association says the cylinder recirculation module will rather shoot up cost of LPG. Nanabo Tutu Collins is the national organizer of the association.
What exactly have you put out there?
The price of the product will shoot up. Ghanaians cannot afford to buy the product anymore.
Why?
For the cylinder recirculation, Ghanaians are going to pay for the product and the cylinders as well. So that cannot come. So anytime you are in need of the product and you go to the center, you have to pay the product alongside with the cylinder. So you will be paying for the cylinder. So you come to conclusion whereby you are no longer interested in using the product again.
So the prices will go up.
The price will go up.
And then what again?
And then what we have observed now is when you fill the product into the cylinders, whenever there is whenever the temperature goes high, the pressure in the cylinder also goes high. So in case we have a large quantity filled bottles in the truck going for distribution, you know we are in Africa, a very tropical area. The sun scorches too much. And this is whereby we are going to fill the atuab gas, a high pressure gas, into these cylinders. Ghana will soon going to be like America in Iraq. In war front, there's going to be explosion here and there on this deprived load. So when there is any friction, the cylinders are going to explode.
This is a huge allegation. Are you saying that the authorities haven't considered this
They have not considered this, man.
To be the right option for the country? Because one of the reasons they give is that it's going to address the frequent, explosions of gas filling stations.
Now, let me tell you point straight. CRM cannot end explosion. It is rather going to increase it more.
And your reason?
Like I said earlier, the first cylinders in the truck going for distribution, and when the temperature goes high, the pressure also in the cylinder rises. So it's going to create explosion here and there.
And how? What is the current procedure you use to distribute yours?
Like what?
Your gas distribution. You don't also carry it around?
We carry it around, but not to the extent of going for long distance. Imagine they have their plant. What they are saying, they're going to set up some plant machines in Ghana, and it's in Kumasi. They have to transport some quantity of cylinders to, let's say, Twomu. Also, the distance is very long, so it can create a major incident on the way for the distribution. That's why we are saying they should listen to us. They should listen to us.
Apart from these two, what are the other reasons you've decided to go on this path?
Ghanaians will very soon go back to the traditional way of cooking by going in for charcoal, and we are all protecting our forestry. So because they cannot afford the price of the product, the only option for them is to go for the charcoal, and it's going to result in cutting down the trees as well, and it's going to create unemployment. The GCMC factory is going to the 10 years without not being in operation.
How?
The mandatory for using cylinder, I mean the domestic one, the maximum years is 10 years. So in case they implement this policy, they will need about 60 million cylinders in Ghana, because we are up to 30 million so far in population. Each person will own 2 cylinders, one at your house and the other at your retail center. It will take 10 years before this cylinder will phase out from the system. By then, what is GCMC doing, producing or manufacturing the cylinders for? They have nothing to do, so they have to stop work. Cylinder sellers in our various markets, they are also going to lose their job.
Now, the Tema Regional Police Command says it's deploying drones as part of measures in their fight against crime. The region in the last few years has been fraught with many heinous crimes committed by criminals who go to places that's difficult to trace. In this regard, the police in Tema have added drone operations to existing patrols. Correspondent Kwame Yanka filed the following report.
Security agencies in advanced countries deploy modern tech in addition to existing ways of crime prevention. The fight against crime has become sophisticated across the globe, with technology such as drones playing leading roles. Tema Regional Commander DCOP Nana Asumahene, in an interview with Joy News, says drone operations will take their fight against crime a step further.
I am highly impressed. Very successful. I'm sure even the demo, when we go after analyzing it, we'll get something good out of it. Who told you it's only in the night? You were all here when they killed that Lebanese. So it's not only in the night. In the afternoon too, the people commit crime. And that's why it's in West. In the night, what we are doing is that now we know, we are aware. So from one step, we move to the second step. So make sure that we configure it and make sure we have the night vision attached to the cameras. Or the infrared as well. It's technology. It's there quickly. We only go and buy and fit it. No visibility, obviously, we are all in town, and you see that it's not all that good. We don't have a lot of lights within the areas. So earlier when I told you, we are liaising with the assembly to illuminate the whole city. So as of now, most part of the city are in darkness.
Meanwhile, drone pilot Chief Inspector Jonathan Ashi says personnel are well equipped to man these drones.
We used to compare, especially where the armed robbery is rampant. We normally always use drone to trace them. So at the moment, I don't think we have any problem with the crime combatant. And then we have another man who is the field commander. He will identify the specific thing you want. Either if demonstration, you have to get the leaders. So he will identify you the leader. One has passed here. So you will follow the drone to the leader that you are looking for. So always you have to get 4 men to fly one drone.
DCOP Nana Asumahene, who bought the drone for the command, says more will be purchased if need be. Kwame Yankas reports for Joy News. Tema.
Now, father of the 16-year-old who was killed last Friday following an attack by some irate youth of Twomu is calling for an independent investigation into the issue. Kune Batong says, though he welcomes moves by the Upper West Command of the Ghana Police Service to investigate the issue, he thinks that the police will not come out with the truth as they themselves are complicit in the matter. Kune Batong made the statement when the Upper West Commander of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP Buapia Kojo Ochre, called on the family in Twomu.
Twomu is in a state of shock, disbelief and mourning. Born Emmanuel Batong, but the deceased later adopted Mohammed as one of his other names following his conversion to the Muslim faith. He met his untimely death on Friday. His family members sat akimbo whilst others stood motionless with grim faces, demanding to know what killed their beloved teenager. Mohammed was on his way to an uncle when he was hit in the eye, allegedly by stray bullets from the police. The police fired gunshots to fend off attack from irate youth who attacked the police station with pickup loaded with stones, vandalized equipment, including 2 police and private vehicles. The irate youth had accused the police of high-handedness, leading to the death of one of them after the latter mounted an operation at a suspected weed smoking camp close to the Twomu Dam. Upper West Regional Commander of the Ghana Police Service, led by the Sisal East Municipal Chief Executive Nanyo Karimu, met with the bereaved family to condole with them on the loss of their teenager.
It's indeed sad that we have to continue talking about this very unfortunate incident. This family is a family who was assisting us to get the guy out of the water. We are all sad and attempt to help these cases attend this way. Once again, I'm just pleading with the family. No matter what it is, we still have to exercise patience.
DCOP Buapia Kojo Ochre again assured the bereaved family of investigating the issue to bring the perpetrators to justice.
We are investigating and we will continue to investigate to justify what has happened. Nobody is above the law. We are going to investigate and make sure that rule of law prevails.
Tear-eyed middle-aged father of the deceased, Kune Batong, agreed on the need for an investigation. However, he will want it to be done independent from the police.
I don't even know what to say, because even right now, if I'm sitting down for myself, I'm telling lies. Because I never expected my son to die this way. Because my son is an ignorant guy to the whole show. And he shot this way. So right now, to me, if it is an investigation of stuff, they have to look for some specialists to do that investigation, because those involved in the case will not say the truth. Once I don't have the details and I have no money on me to do this, and I know they will not treat the case the way I wanted. So I'm giving it to people who hear it. Whatever help they can give to, they should help.
Concerns have been raised by residents here in Twomu on the manner and conduct of the operation of the regional police SWAT team, who they want the regional police command to have a second look at. Wuto Mahama Bawa is the assemblyman for the Nanyo electoral area.
The police service in the district and the community, we have very good relationship. But what the patrol teams are doing is maddening our relationship. So as the regional commander is here, we think that Sisala East has been one of the peaceful places. So if he can actually stand up and fish out the bad nuts from the police service.
At this stage, consoling the bereaved family will indeed soothe their hearts, but beyond that, they will want justice to be done on the death of their teenager. Reporting for Joy News, Rafiq Salam, Twomu.
You're watching Joy News today. Still to come, police arrest 6 members of the task force on the ban on noise making during a clash between them and a church in Tesano. And Ghana Education Service implores heads of various basic schools to step up security to ensure safety of pupils following the arrest of a 26-year-old who kidnapped 2 children from the KNUST Basic School. We've got details of these plus more right after this. Do stay. Thanks for staying here on Joy News Desk. 6 members of a task force ensuring compliance with the ban on noise making have been detained at the Tesano police station after a clash between them and members of the Tesano Assemblies of God Church Sunday morning. A spokesperson of the compliance committee, Numo Blafo, is alleging there were warning shots by a member of the church, an allegation the church has denied. Maxwell Agbagba has more in this report.
When we, the priests and the priestesses and others, we go into what we call our gbachun occasionally to pray for good.
Some days ago, when I met Numo Blafo, spokesperson for the committee ensuring compliance of the ban on noise making, he told me about the necessity to keep the city quiet as Ghana traditional priests intercede for the nation. It was Sunday afternoon, and some members of the task force ensuring that people comply with the ban were called into action at the Tesano Assemblies of God Church. Church service has ended here at the Tesano Assemblies of God Church. Some members we have been speaking to told us that they were in the middle of their worship when a vehicle full of people arrived here on the ground. Some of them forcefully entered the church room and started brandishing cutlasses. I've now met the senior pastor of the church. He said although they used the musical instruments at a point, their noise was limited to the building.
I saw a certain man holding some rod entering into the church auditorium. And then when he came, he raised the rod up. And he said, "I'm greeting all of you." So when he said that, just about the time I was going to ask whom he was, I realized that about 6 to 8 people, they were in yellow t-shirts. They all lined up and entered into the auditorium, and then they started removing the speakers and the instruments. So one of the church members met them and asked them what they were doing. They didn't mind that they were going about removing the items. So the rest of the members rushed in, and they sort of tried to prevent them from collecting the items.
I've now come to the Tesano police station where some members of the task force have been detained after the church lodged a complaint against them. The spokesperson of the compliance committee, Twomu Blafo, is here with some members of the Ghana Traditional Council. He alleges the task force members were agitated after a member of the church fired a warning shot.
One superintendent, Simon Agbodeka, I think he's a member of the church and he's a police officer, and he fought one of my Asafuacheli. And because of that, he said he's wounded. So they've given him a medical form to go to the hospital, and my Asafuacheli, who is also wounded, is in cell. So in this case, where is the fairness? And now you, the investigator or whatever, these people, you've taken the statement of the pastor, you allowed the pastor to go, you didn't take statement of the boys, you rather locked them up, you waited for these church people to finish their church activities, come and give another statement, you still send them back to their church, and my people are still in cells. The thing was that one of the church members, who might be a police person, came outside and gave a warning shot.
An allegation senior pastor of the church, Stephen Kwefio Okai, denies.
As a matter of fact, I did not hear of any gunshot. I didn't hear that.
6 members of the Ghana Traditional Council Task Force are still in the custody of the Tesano Police. Some members of the Traditional Council are still here pleading for their release. They allege that the statements of the members of the task force have not been taken. Reporting for Joy News, Maxwell Agbagba. Away from that, the Ghana Education Service is urging heads of basic schools to step up education safety of pupils while they are in school. The call comes at the back of the arrest of a 26-year-old man who kidnapped 2 children from the KNUST primary school in Kumasi. According to Cassandra Truman-Poffo, it is the responsibility of the school to ensure safety of the children while they are in school, though the GES doesn't have an official policy.
Yes, when we heard of the incident and we know the police are taking over, and I know everything is wrapped up now, since we've been able to arrest the person and all of that.
The school in question, is it a private or a public school?
It's a private school.
It's a private school. But where does GES responsibility end or extend to? In this case, do you have direct responsibility over a private school such as the KNUST primary school?
Yes, please. When it comes to taking of wards in school, what we do is that we've given that responsibility to the heads of institutions. So whether it's a public school or a private school, we expect that they ensure that whoever comes to pick any child from the school is somebody that they know. And so that arrangement is done between the parents or guardians and the school authorities. I know in private schools, some of the private schools, they even have tasks or kind of ID tasks and all of that, so it at the security point, so that indeed you are the real person to pick up maybe what A or what B. And so there are a number of measures. It is a life in the bosom of the school head, but we do not have a laid-down regulation that to govern. It happens at the school level.
Is the GES considering, creating any policy or laid-down procedure, considering what you're seeing lately?
Well, so the creation of any policy or something, that would be management decision. But what we do is always engage the parents during PTA meetings, and we keep telling them, let us know, so that they will be watchful or mindful of people that they send to pick up their wards. And so we only have to keep educating the parents during the PTA meeting so that they get to know what exactly to do when it comes to the picking up of their wards. And so that's exactly what we do.
Collins James Koda, a native of Navrongo in the Upper East region, was arrested at his Asante Achemagogo hideout with 2 children he kidnapped from the University School on Friday. A swift intervention from police with the support of MTN led to the arrest of the suspect and subsequent release of the children. DCOP Kenya Boy is the Ashanti Regional Police Commander.
When they were able to locate the kidnapper for us, that he was at the Bodomasi, and we proceeded to Bodomasi. We were informed the kidnapper and then the kids came there and then slept in a hotel overnight. And the next morning, they left the place. And so we contacted MTN again, and then they were able to tell us that they've moved to Agogo. And with the description that we had, we were able to go to some of the hotels, and then we were able to locate the kidnapper and then the 2 kids. So we were able to rescue them. The motive behind the kidnapping of the kids is that he wanted money. The parents will have to send their kids to hospital for them to be examined. Parents should be very careful. They have to also warn kids that they should not respond to any stranger.
COP Kennedy Yabwa is Ashanti Regional Police Commander. We'll take a quick breather now on Joy News Today. Do stay for more. Thanks for staying here. The Asokore Mampo Municipal Assembly is considering a common timetable for schools that provide Arabic studies to students alongside mainstream education. The current morning or afternoon schedules for Arabic studies, also known as Makranta, conflict with mainstream educational timetable. Municipal Chief Executive Halidu Seidu says the current situation is negatively affecting performance of beneficiary students. He was speaking at a forum on BEC ethics for final year students. Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reports.
And then the C appears smaller like this one.
The event, attended by 2,247 students from 54 schools in the area, was to address challenges faced by basic education certificate examinations in exams whilst improving academic performance. It was organized by a non-governmental human development organization, Europe Foundation. Zena Fufana is director.
This is the first time that we had an open day to invite the WAEC officials to come in and have a discussion one-on-one with the children so that they can also be free to ask questions, so the tension can go down, so that our constituency, as of now, which is Asawasi, will have a good high grades for 2018.
It is among several interventions being implemented to improve students' performance at the basic education certificate examination. Some of the beneficiaries spoke to Joy News.
This program will help us to encourage us in our education. Even when we are about to write the DC, it also helps us to write it well because of what they have taught us.
If as the upcoming students build up upon our careers, the nation may develop to a very good standard, much than it is now.
Municipal Chief Executive for Asokore Mampong, Halidu Seidu, says the Assembly is considering a common timetable for all Islamic schools in the area.
The schools are not performing to the best of our satisfaction. So I quiz further to know the reason. And there are issues within, which has to do with timing, when to begin what. For you see, predominantly we have about an appreciable number of Islamic schools. So as we also have the secular education ones. The problem has to do with the Islamic schools claims that they have to come and teach in the morning. Then the secular is pushed in the midday, mid-morning or afternoon. Then also, there is also another school of thought. And that also says that the secular education should start, then the Arabic education should also come afterwards. So there has been that kind of dilly-dallying. So when I came, I sought to meet all the stakeholders within, pastors, teachers, Islamic instructors, and all of them, to have a common understanding, to have a common ground where we all understand that whether or not Islamic, for that matter, Arabic education should be in the morning or on the other side.
Mahmoud Mohammed Nuruddin reporting.
Time now for business news. Emmanuel Abwajiriafe is standing by with the latest.